Good morning everyone. In today's video I will show you how to create a conceptual mass tower based on the provision of a 2D plot line or a 2D boundary lines. So the end up result should give you two boxes basically, and calculating the setback from the north, east, west and south, and how you can create two body or two parts of the main tower, which is the podium one and the actual tower one. It doesn't need to be the exact geometry that you're going to design, but that can give you the allowable volume to design with. And just to state that in the beginning, in this phase, I will make sure that the build you have to build actually from a model lines, not a detail lines in Revit. I'm actually using drawing lines. I did not use rectangle, and I think both will not work if you change them. I did not further test that to include both cases. Change the plot lines actually into conceptual mass. So I'm going to make the tower itself and the podium only, so there is no separated ground floor will be generated. I will look through the next phases to create areas and volumes, but not in this video. And again, it's not tested on the inclusion of the inclined or curved plot edges. So again, it's not included for inclined. That's an incorrect word actually, instead of included. So there is no inclined or curved plot edges allowed. It's just a straight perpendicular lines. And finally, geometry check still required. So I did not actually check the full geometry, how it will work. If you might go and give a podium area smaller than the tower, so you're going to get as ugly as you can get. I did not add any constraint. So in this, you're supposed to have two parts, one group for the podium and one group for the tower itself. And you can see that you can specify the offset part of each, and you get the tower goes and set back based on the provision of the south or north or east offset. Again, you can control how many levels you have and how much is actually each level. I'm here assuming it's 4. I can just have a different number. The podium levels here are 4, so I can make them 3, 2 and 1 and so on. I can just manipulate the way I want the geometry will be created. So again, those are model lines, and again I draw them with a line command, not a rectangle. So just to highlight that way of constraints or start up with. So let's go ahead and see how we can model that. I will close this file and I will create a new one and to start up from scratch for you. And indeed, as we go, you can see that we need to select model elements, because I'm not creating the tower based on Dynamo elements, but rather on the existence of a group of lines, model lines actually from the Revit space, as you can see here. I hide the elevations as they are really annoying when you select, and make sure you are select model lines actually elements, sorry, instead of elements. So you have to select a group of lines in the same window. Now if I can select this one, you can see that 4 actually has been 4 elements or 4 Revit model curve actually selected. Or you can go ahead and select again, and you can see that it's immediately shown and selected 4 model elements, and a visual representation of them are actually presented in Dynamo. Just to highlight again, the units that I use here are metrics, meters, not millimeter. I just don't work with the millimeters. And you can see that we have 4 model curve here, and we need to get the Revit elements out of those models. So I'm going to go elements or element actually dot curve, and this guy will just get Revit elements, and they just get me a normal lines or a normal Dynamo curves out of them, and that's what we really want. And in this case, this guy have to be hidden, we just make it hidden, which we don't want it anymore, and we have this as an actual lines and actual representation, a dynamo representation of those lines. And now we need to flatten. Probably for that, for those who use Dynamo 2, they won't find this existed. I'm not really sure because I'm working on still actually working on a Dynamo 1.3, and I'm changing the way it's been structured, canceling the subnesting here. Subnested lists, I just don't want them, and by that I will turn off again the visibility of those and lines, and I just need to again turn off the preview. As I get that preview, flatten will get the sufficient preview for me. Now this is the land, so that's the outer edges of our area or the boundary lines. If you can just go ahead and test that, you can see that it's actually working perfectly. So just get back to our main object and we're gonna stick with it. Now we need to know which line actually created represent which side. I'm assuming the upper one is just north, and that goes for east, and that's south, and that's actually the west. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get use the list.getItem. So this is a list.getItem, and in it we technically need to have the four of them separated, so we can have a separated offset or setback for each one of them. So I'm gonna go here 0, and I will get this guy here. So this one, as you can see, is the first one. Probably you can go ahead and turn off this, and you're gonna see that you have only this one is still alive or actually selected or viewed in this viewport. I'm gonna make 4 of those, each one for each side. So that's will go east. This dude will go number 2, which will be south, and the last one, 3, is going to represent the west. So we have those 4, as you can see, and they are 4 separated curve this time. Now I will add a curve.offset, and you have to be careful with this because when you apply the curve.offset, you might get the offset direction not the way you are actually thinking about. So anyway, so let's select the curve, and now we need a distance, and I think the default will be 1. I'm not going to be happy with the available default one, so I have to go to that slider, and I will say that I don't know, I'll go a little bit south. I don't want that to be within the selection nodes. I will call this north offset, and maybe 100 meter as an offset. Actual offset is too much. I'll keep it as 10. I don't know about you, just I don't want this to be really long, so I'm gonna make it like 5 meter or something. And again, I'm connecting this dude here, if you see, and now I think it's worked perfectly, and the direction is going inside, and that's just a happy coincidence, I think. So I'm gonna accept this. I'll make it 4 maybe, and now we need to make an offset node for each one of those 3 guys. All those 3 curves deserve an offset value, so just connect them, and you might see that those 2 things, that north and east were okay, while the south goes outside the boundary. It's okay, we can fix this, but before we fix this, we need another 3 of those for each one. So that's an east offset. That's the south, and that's the west. Now we connect the east to the second one, and I'm gonna connect the south here, third one, and again the fourth one to the fourth one. Now just for the sake of being accurate, just flex this. I'll make this 6 maybe, and south, I don't know, maybe 8, and the west as the east. I will go 6 maybe. Now the direction is a bit annoying, so I'll just A and then multiply it by a -1. So whatever this value is, just the negative of it will do the job. Repeat that to the west, and you get yourself a really great result. Now we have now 4 lines offsetted inside the property, and those lines actually intersect with each other. This gives me the possibility to investigate and know where is this intersection happening. So I'm going to go geometry, and I'm going to go with intersect all. So again, we'll just intersect this one with this one. That's the point. And I'm going to repeat this one like 4 times. So this one, the second with the third, now here the third with the fourth, now the fourth with the first again, ending up by having an actual 4 points. Now we need to create a polygon out of those. Before you go ahead and continue this offset actually have met their or achieved their target by getting us the intersection points, so we don't need them anymore. Otherwise it's going to be really annoying and crowdy. So just keep those 4 points and 4 points here, and get rid of the lines that are actually generating them. So just go here and use the polygon by point, and that's the polygon by point, which here it actually need a list of points. So I'm going to go and pick a list.create with 4 inputs, and give that to the point. What's happening here? I don't know. It should give me the polygon, but for some reason it's not actually showing. Anyway, let's see what. Yeah, again, that's so sad. Probably we can we just go and nope. Nope. Anyway, too lazy to think why. I'll just add flat, quick, and it's gonna work. Don't freak out. So now see the way it's been organized. That's the way it like it. So one list. It hate the sublisting, as I hate it too. No worries, everyone hate it. Okay, now we get this inside. Again, before you go ahead and make your extrusion, it would be a good idea to flex. So let's see if it's crush. Again, north, maybe 6. Meh. It's worked perfectly. 4, 6. Beautiful. So it is working. So all those guys should be pushed down, I believe, because they are actually creating, the required for a podium, and it's a good way to separate your nodes into horizontal and vertical groups, as those really creating, the whole, podium thing. So what else we have to do now? This is a polygon. We are really ready to extrude it. So curve.extrude as solid. I do believe will do the job. So which one? I have no idea. So let's read. That's doesn't say as a solid. So this should create surfaces. We don't want them. This dude will actually need only the distance. Beautiful. I know that I'm going toward the Z direction exactly, so that's what I want. And as you can see, it is working perfectly. The height of this really need two things, you know, like in order to understand the height, you need to know a podium level height. And let's assume it's 4, and I will add another slider, but this time my spelling is really bad. I'm losing my English. It's almost 2 a.m. here. What the time is? It's 1:30. All right. So again, integer, and now this dude is just, you know, doesn't have digits. I'm not going for a podium with 100, so I'm gonna make it 10. See, the steps is 1, probably another 3 levels. So now, if you multiply the integer represent the podium number or of levels, so how many levels you have? 4. You need to multiply those two things. So A multiplied by B, very easy. This dude with this dude to give you whatever the value representing the overall height of the extrusion. I feel sad for myself. Now again, it goes for some reason downward. I have no idea, but a quick guess, I think because the way we are I created the sequence that way, it pushed it down. I don't know if I just go counterclockwise if it's go to fix this, but anyway, who cares? I'm gonna get back minus here, and that goes up. I don't need to figure the math anymore or why. It sometimes go crazy if you want to explain everything, but just as I'm just going easy on myself and just assuming that's putting my own assumption actually. So beauty, see, that's work perfectly. And if I just push the height again, it's here anyway. I'll keep that 4 or 5 meter. I'm not adding a ground floor as I said in the PowerPoint slide. That is really happy. I'm happy with that. So you can see that's the podium generated. So we need now to repeat this thing, but this time, you know, you're gonna get something above that, which is the tower itself. That it doesn't start on the ground. Actually, I will create it on the ground and then just move it vertically in the x in the x direction. So this dude should be going for keeping those the same. Technically, this dude here will be a tower level height, so the height for them. I don't know what mess I made, but does undo fix it? Why is that? I have no idea. Again, undo. Oh dear Lord, I don't know what's happened. So something really bad. I'm just accepting my bad luck, and I'm pressing undo. So that's all. Again, I'm hitting Control and I'm moving to get a copy out of the upper nodes. And as you can see, my old machine, it's just giving me a very bad time and a very easy job. So I think I have to throw it away from the balcony, as I said several times. I keep threatening my laptop to throw it, but I didn't do that yet. So that's the podium thing. So yep, so we should change this. I'm afraid to do that. I'm just gonna go file and save, because you know that's phase 1. I'm afraid it's gonna explode again. So this dude here, last time I clicked, it was really bad thing. So tower levels, and here should goes for the number of levels. So that's the height of each level, and that's the number. So anyway, so instead we need to give smaller numbers, and sorry, a bigger number, so we have a smaller tower. So in the north I will have 8, and here I'll go 6, and here I'll go 10. I'm just adding 2 for both, just random actual numbers. And I can't see what's happening, so probably it's a good idea to, you know, hide this dude. You can see that it's actually generating another box, you know, here. Keeping this in mind, the only one thing we need is that the bottom level of that box should be on the top of the original existing one. So what we do is that polygon, that dude, should be actually translated based on whatever method you like. Maybe this one. Is anything easier? Just distance? No. There should be someone with a distance. Anyway, this one, that's the direction only. No. Anyway, too lazy to put the z-axis. So that's the geometry, and the distance, again, probably we need the z-axis. Yep, that's the direction. So that's here, that's here, both of them a bit down. You do go here, and everything crash and burn. I have no idea why. Why I am doing this? This is to translate any geometry. I want to do the X, Y, Z thing. I don't know. I hate that. Don't tell me why. So I'm going to translate again. Yeah, this one. That's my one. I love this one. All right. So that's what I need. It's easy. Let's go with this and this dude here again. Now we need the Z value, which will be technically the height that you generated here for. You know, the height, this is the X and Y for the podium. Just take this dude here, and trust me, everyone will be happy, except it's in the negative value. So what I should do in the beginning is should be A multiplied by -1, isn't it? This dude, there is no minus here. You see the lower one goes okay, but the upper one goes crazy. So where's the distance? Come on, old machine. Yep, this one. This actually doesn't need to be hidden anymore. You can see now it should be work perfectly. And I think it's I'll make it just a smaller. So in the East 10, I'll go crazy here, maybe 15 or 20. No, here 20. Just to make it, you know, whatever regulation you got, you know. So that's it, I think. Nothing else. Almost done, guys. Just be patient. And here, go ahead, go increase this levels. Probably make the 3.5 instead, or 4.2. I don't know. Just follow whatever code you got. I'm gonna keep it full, and instead the levels of 4, I'll make them 30, so you get your own, you know, tower you have, as you can see. Now that's the volume you need, of course, to design your own tower. I'll copy those guys and Control G and just call that tower. And you can control that again, all, and then Control G and add that to podium. And now that's better, just to organize so later on you know which part doing what. And it's now just we need to test, I think. So just I'm thinking cross it's not going to crash, otherwise I'll be very sad. So zoom in here and just select this one maybe, and yep, you can see it works fine. If it's crashed, probably because you know the dimension you added different, and maybe it goes for a negative value. So just be careful what you select, because sometimes you're selecting a profile that doesn't allow the geometry to be created because it's smaller than the offset value. You should create a more actually smarter way in defining your and checking your values for the original boundary lines. So when you design, when you select, it doesn't give you an error based on the lack of distance because the offset is bigger than the lot width or height itself. Anyway, I wish that you find that video useful. In the next video, guys, I will show you how to generate levels and actual level areas and volumes for each podium. Probably we're going to add a different level for the ground floor. I don't know, I did not design the video yet, but that's what I'm thinking about. Thank you very much for watching me and have a good day. Bye bye.